Each player will be limited to 10 minutes, and we will go ahead and get started with questions for Owen. Let's start here on the aisle. George Stoya.
Hey, Owen. George Stoya, Sooner Scoop. Kind of a weird question to start off with, but I know that you, I think, maybe have another year. I also don't know if the lacrosse year counts for that. Like, can you walk us through this process of, do you have another year, and also would you like to come back next year if you do?
Yeah, no, it's been kind of a complicated process. Currently in an appeal process with the NCAA, hoping to hear back somewhat soon. Yeah, as you mentioned, they're counting my year at Ohio State lacrosse as a year towards overall eligibility. And I think the NCAA is kind of cracking down on 6 years. So as of right now, I don't know if I got granted the extra year. I would heavily consider it. You know, I love Oklahoma, and this has really been my first year playing, so I would love another year to go at it.
Tom. Let's go to Tom Green.
Tom Green, Sooners Illustrated. Yeah, you mentioned, this is your first year really playing. We've heard Brent talk a lot about your story, but have you had a chance to just reflect on your journey so far and what it means to kind of be on this stage?
Yeah, 100%. It's an honor to play for this university. It's something that I dreamed about as a little kid. I had an uncle who played here, and from the moment I was born, I had an OU beanie that I wore every day. So to be able to play and contribute in meaningful games is something that I don't take for granted. It's something that it's an honor to run out there every single day. Even put the practice helmet on. So I haven't had a whole lot of time to reflect. I'm sure a lot of reflection will be done after the season. Right now we're just focused on the next game, but it's definitely an honor and something I'm super grateful for.
Ryan Chapman.
Brett Jones here. Sorry. For you, just you, Kip, Kobe, Sammy, how big of an advantage has that been for you guys to be as fresh as anyone can be in game 13, 14, 15, being able to rotate so much this year?
Yeah, I think it's a huge part of our success as the linebacker core is just feeling fresh. There's not going to be any drop-off regardless of who's in. And it's something that, I think Coach Dryland and Coach Venables kind of count on, is all four of us are leaders of the team. All four of us know the defense really well, and I think they're super comfortable with anybody out there. So I think it's been a huge part of our success, and every one of us brings something unique to the table, and I think that probably some of us haven't gotten the recognition that we think we're deserving of, but it's just a testament to the depth of the linebacker group and splitting reps as much as we have.
Let's come over here, second row. Jared, second row. We'll go to Davis Cordova.
Yeah, Owen, Davis Cordova, Norman Transcript. Just with your questions on eligibility, is there added motivation for you on Friday, just knowing that it could be your last game, even if you don't know?
Yeah, definitely. Each game after LSU could have been my last, so just playing with that chip on my shoulder, knowing that if this is my last year, I got to impress everybody that I can, and also take it all in, because like I said, this is a dream come true, and every chance I get to run out on that field is a special one. So if this is my last one here, I got to make it worth it. So yeah, definitely. I try to play each game like it's my last, and this one could be it. So gonna play hard for Sooner Nation, play hard for my family, and everybody who's been cheering me on.
Let's go back right side, third row, James.
Go back right side.
Brady Trantham, Sooners on SI. Owen, you guys have been playing essentially playoff football since the loss to LSU, so week in and week out. So what do you think that these weeks off have done for the momentum, the psyche of the team thus far?
Yeah, it's just another week to dive into the game plan, recover, and just get ready for the next opponent. Because like you said, it's been a gauntlet of the past 6 weeks of playing football. So any chance that we get to recover and get a deep dive on the next team that we're playing is something that we're not going to take for granted. And Alabama again, it's going to be a great test. They're a great team, and last game was a super close one. So I think the whole team's excited, ready to go. Having 2 weeks to prepare gets you a little bit antsy, but it's just extra time to get ready to work.
James
Halo, KC Sports Radio. Owen, you guys have played Alabama once, and now you've had 3 weeks to get ready for them. What's your thoughts on the Crimson Tide at this point, what they're doing offensively?
Yeah, they're a super physical team. They've got a lot of talented players. They got as talented of a roster as anybody we played. They can stretch you long down the field. And, you know, they also can wear you down up front. So we got to play our most physical football. I think they're going to be extra motivated, considering coming off the loss from Georgia. So, you know, we got to play our best brand of football, and we hope we get theirs too.
Come back right side, Tom.
Yeah, Owen, obviously, special teams has been pretty critical for you guys this year. I know before you really got on the field at linebacker, you were a big contributor on special teams. Just how much have you seen that phase of the game improve for you guys these last 2 years under Coach Deacon?
Yeah, I think it's just buy-in. Everybody loves Coach Deke. Everybody wants to play hard. You know, for me, when I was first starting playing here, special teams was my way on the bus, the way to get to travel. And, you know, it's kind of become the culture of the special teams group is, you know, young guys are trying to compete with vets for, you know, a spot on the bus, and the way to do that is through special teams. So there's a lot of buy-in, a lot of energy, a lot of want to, and you've seen that from a lot of people. And, you know, like you said, special teams has been our competitive advantage this year, field position for the offense, and, you know, pinning them deep for the defense. So we're hoping to keep that rolling. And, you know, I think that the want to and the will of this team is something that definitely contributes to that.
Okay, let's go back to Ryan Chapman.
I talked to Eli last week. He said as good as you guys played as a defense in this first matchup, there's still a ton of stuff the secondary wanted.
Yeah.
As a linebacker group, what's some of those things that you guys highlight as, hey, we'd like to clean this up from the first matchup?
Yeah, definitely just being on top of checks. You know, they do a lot of stuff on offense to kind of mess with your eyes, so having your eyes down is something that's super important. For linebackers, especially getting depth in pass drops and getting a good read off their tackles is something that's really important as well. So, you know, I think the extra week has really helped us, you know, work on the things that we need to work on to be successful against them. But it's going to come down to who wants it more and who's willing to put in more work. So, yeah, I think that the linebackers, you know, had a lot to learn from the last game, and I think we've done a good job of working on those, and we're going to be ready to capitalize.
Okay, left side, first row, Josh McDaniel. Josh, over here.
Josh McDaniel, OU Daily. Owen, just in general, what does it mean to you, playoff game to host it here?
Yeah, it's awesome. I know it's going to be a great atmosphere. I know Sooner Nation's just as excited as we are about it. So hopefully we can you know, come out and have our tails on fire. But it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited for it. They asked us, you know, what we want to see in the stadium, so we gave some song recommendation and some light show recommendations. So I'm really excited for it.
Okay, and back to the right side, George Stoya.
What song recommendations?
So I recently watched Tron, and there's a song in there by Daft Punk called "End of Line." It got me pretty fired up. So that was my recommendation. I know other people had different ones, but my mom, she loves that Daft Punk song, and it kind of got me re-fired up and ready to go. So I think there's a cool opportunity to do some light stuff with that song. So hopefully we get it figured out. I've been working closely with Maloney and Cade Kimsey on it, so we'll see. Yeah.
I did want to ask you, we heard Brent earlier this year tell the story about you sneaking onto the practice field and him giving you an opportunity, and obviously he let you walk on and all that.
Yeah.
I know that you said, you know, you don't know if your career's done here yet, but what has Brent Venables meant to you in giving you that opportunity to play here?
Yeah, you know, it's times it's been a love-hate relationship. Him yelling at me to get off the field when I try and sneak on, you know, I wasn't always happy with him, but he's kept me on my toes for 4 years that I've been here, and, you know, he's never let me get comfortable, and I contribute that, you know, part of my success to that. You know, every day I knew that I didn't get to make mistakes, and when I got in, I had to capitalize on each moment. So I think he's taught me, you know, perseverance and sticking with something that I was truly motivated for. And, you know, it's been my dream to play here since I was little. And, you know, he made me work for it, and I'm glad that I did, because it's made it all the more sweet. So he's been a huge source of, you know, inspiration, motivation for me, and I'm super grateful for him.
Okay, we're going to try a Zoom question here. Hopefully this works. Jenny Carlson, you can go ahead.
Hey, Owen, it's Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoma. You mentioned Corey a minute ago. Could you just talk a little bit more about what is, you know, his journey as a Sooner, even before you were born, what you know of it, how you've consumed it? I know your dad played college ball too, but just him being a Sooner and how you've sort of, you know, wrapped his legacy around your head.
Yeah, I think we definitely have similar stories. He walked on after a year at JUCO, and I know that he wasn't super happy there, and, you know, he, like me, decided to take a risk on himself. So he bet on himself, came here, and was slotted pretty deep on the depth chart, I think. And so similar to me, he had to work for everything that he got. And he had a great career here. He won a national championship, a couple Big 12 championships. Whenever I go over to his house, I always stop by his office to check out his rings. So he had a super rewarding career, and we've been able to bond over that because I've been able to bounce questions off him. What he did for motivation and how he continued to work. So he's been a huge source of inspiration and motivation for me as well. And I think that once I get some time to reflect on it, we're going to have some good stories to tell each other.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Owen, very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks.